Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here, and welcome to Mornings with 60 and Me. Today is Saturday, it's September the 10th, so welcome to the weekend. Hope you're all doing well. I love the weekends. I've got so many things I've got planned for today, but I'm starting with my cup of tea. I'm drinking one of my yogi teas this morning, and it's called Bright Mood. And I don't know what's in it. It smells like licorice or aniseed and maybe some cinnamon, but it's very good. So I hope you've got a cup of tea. Come join me and I'll take you through some of the news of the world and also share a couple of stories with you that I think are going to be of real interest. Well, both are very dear to my heart, one in particular, but we'll talk about that in a second. So in the world news, John Kerry, United States Secretary of State, and his counterpart, Sergei Lavrov, have reached a Syrian ceasefire agreement. Now, this means that they're proposing this agreement. Of course, everyone's got to play. But what they're doing is agreeing that there are going to be some guidelines around a no-fly zone over Syria, and also how to get humanitarian aid into places that are so besieged, like Aleppo, for example. So they're proposing the ceasefire. It will go into effect on Monday. We will see how this all plays out, but I just hope that everyone does give it their best effort. I mean, the rebel groups are going to have to cooperate with the guidelines, as is the Syrian government, but at least it gets the peace conversation started again. In France, the three women that were arrested yesterday with regards to an attempt, what they suspected to be an imminent terrorist attack, turns out that they are all French citizens. They were born in France, and the leader is a 19-year-old woman. It turns out they were taking orders from the Islamic State in Syria. And this is a really interesting development for Europe because it's really showing that there are local nationals in these European countries like France who are taking orders from Syria, Islamic State. And it just opens a whole new realm of possibility for Europe and something to be concerned about. Now, in Greece, if you're going to have a mini summit, this is the place to have it. I love Greece. It's such a beautiful place. But the Prime Minister there, Alexis Tsipras, has decided to gather all his colleagues from the Mediterranean countries together and have a chat about the two things that are of big concern to them: migrant and refugee situation, and also the austerity budgets that many of them are being forced to adopt because of the economic situations in their countries. So this is Italy, Malta, Cyprus, Portugal, and Greece. So they're having a mini summit this weekend in Greece. In the French Alps, I've got a story here. It's kind of a scary one. It's local to me. So I go on these cable cars all the time. But apparently there was a cable car that was going above the French Alps to around Mont Blanc. And there was high winds, and the cables got tangled. So the cable car got stuck, and they just couldn't move. So helicopters moved in and evacuated about 60 of the people, but 30 were left on in the cable car all night. So for 18 hours, while the helicopters waited for the fog to clear and the weather to calm down, they had to stay there, and they gave them blankets and food and got everyone cozy. But can you imagine being up in a cable car for 18 hours? I mean, everyone seemed to take it in good spirits, but I guess they were just glad to get down. But anyway, I actually go up in the cable cars quite a bit. In Switzerland, there's so many of them, and they're beautiful. But this one was stuck for a few hours. So that's something to think about next time I go. So I wanted to share a couple of stories with you now that I think are really important to our demographic and also to me personally. Now, a lot of you have asked me, a little bit about myself and where I was raised and a little bit of my life. And I will do this one day. I'll do a little video. But just to let you know that when I was about 16, I moved from Canada, Windsor, to Detroit. And I lived in Detroit for 2 years. And it was quite a difficult time for me. My mom was sick, and so it was a very challenging time. But it was also a challenging time for Detroit. This was during the riots of 1968 or 9, and there was just a lot of disruption. The city was really devastated by that period of time. Half the city was burned down. There were riots all over the cities, and Detroit really went through a hard time. And that continued really through the 2008 financial crash. the car companies were in serious trouble, and the economy just took a dive. People left Detroit, and whole areas of the country or the city were abandoned. So they're trying now to get back on their feet, and there's lots of good work being done. But I give you that background to tell you that I'm so excited that there's been an initiative in Detroit that I think is amazing. There is people around the world are getting into this tiny house phenomena. Building little houses. They're not that expensive, and you just need a tiny bit of land, and they're nice little houses. They have a living room, bedroom, full kitchen, but they're tiny. 200, 300 square feet. And so they, in Detroit, there's a nonprofit group called, I need to get the name, the Cass Community Social Services Group. They're a nonprofit, and they deal with all aspects of homelessness and low-income needs around housing, health, education, welfare. And they have done this initiative in combination with Ford Motor Company to build a community of tiny houses. And their target audience is going to be people who are on a low income or are homeless. And they said they don't want to just make it a community for homeless people because that creates a stereotype. They want it to be for all people who just would like a start in life, in their home of their own. So they're building these little houses, and they've started with just opening, I think, 6 or so right now. But by the end of the year, they want to have 25 little tiny houses in a community on one couple of streets in Detroit that are abandoned. And it's just an amazing initiative, in my opinion. And it'll start as a rental, so people can rent first, and then after 3 years, they'll be able to have the option to rent to buy. So it'll repopulate parts of Detroit that really were savaged by the economy and by poverty, but also it'll give people in difficult situations a start in life. And I love this quote. There's a quote by one of the gentlemen in this organization called Cass Community Services. It says, Reverend Fowler is executive director of the group, and he says, this is a program about aspirations. It's not just a housing program. And then he says, you move in, you don't even own a bicycle, and in 7 years you can own a house. And I just think it's just a positive message for Detroit. And actually, there are similar programs around the country in Portland, Austin, Texas, Seattle, and I think in California, Oakland. Yeah, they have similar tiny house initiatives. So I think it's wonderful. I wish they were all over the world. And I was actually sometimes thinking it'd be kind of cool to have a 60&Me tiny house community. Find some land and build some houses, and just tiny houses that don't cost a lot, and start a community. Maybe in the future, you never know. So that's I think a great feel-good story from Detroit. But I have another feel-good story, a physical feel-good story that you might be interested in. Now, you all know that I love yoga, and I do practice as much as I can. And we at 60&Me actually do have a yoga DVD, a online video program for gentle yoga and chair yoga. So, we're big fans of it as a way for older women to get flexible, more stress-free, and just to get their bodies comfortable and in shape. And because yoga is really a program of mindfulness, meditation, exercises, it's really a holistic program. Now, researchers have known for years that yoga can actually help in all these areas: mobility, flexibility, and so on. But a group started an initiative to try to discover a connection between yoga and bone health, so osteoporosis. A lot of women over 60, over 50, deal with osteoporosis, and they wondered if they could do some research to see whether practicing yoga would help with bone health. Now, this article came out, and I will leave you a link for this so you can read it all, but Sherry Kahn, who's one of our bloggers, actually also just coincidentally just wrote an article about this topic as well. So we'll leave you a link to that as well, and just have a read of it. But here's what they did. They, over a 10-year period, they had 741 people joined the program. This is between 2005, 2015. This really appeals to me because of the length of the survey project. 10 years. That's a good length of time to do a research project. Now, they had, they at the beginning, they did a scan of everybody's bones, and then they gave them a DVD, for a gentle yoga DVD, to take home and practice with them. And over 10 years, they measured their progress. Now, 227 participants out of that group participated regularly, and 202 were women. So 200 plus women practiced for every 2 days their yoga, and at the end of the project, their bone density was measured. And the amazing thing is that when they entered the study, they looked at their bone density, and now they did new scans and found that 83% had lower than, basically they started off with 83% lower bone density, and at the end, they all had improved. So they started off at the beginning with 83% of them with low bone density, and at the end, they all had improved. There were gaps. People didn't practice every day. There was, obviously the survey has some issues there, but it was amazing to think that of all these people, not one had any injury related to the yoga or to the exercises, but they all improved their bone density. I think it's amazing. And by the way, these women were all 68 when they started, or around the age of 68. So they didn't start young. They started just where we all are. And so I think that's a great story. And I would encourage you to read the article in its totality. And also, if you're interested, check out our yoga videos, our gentle yoga and chair yoga videos. They're designed specifically for you, for our aging bodies, and I love them. And our teacher, Kat Kabira, is amazing. She is truly a wonderful human being and does great programs. So anyway, if you are interested, we have a great program for you. But if you're doing yoga, let us know. Put in the comment section below what your experience has been. I just think it's great to have made that connection, though, between yoga and osteoporosis. Very important. Okay, so today, of our special funny days of the year, today is Swap Ideas Day. And this is the day when everybody gets together to swap ideas. Now, the idea of this day is that there are no rules. Everybody's idea is perfect. It's a great idea. It doesn't matter how far out they are, how crazy. It's your day to share your idea or a topic that you're interested in with someone. So just think of something that's on your mind that you are passionate about, that you care about, and just put your idea out there. See what people think. And I think this is a great day to sort of basically learn from each other and know that creativity comes from all different places. So I am open to your ideas and your content, your topics. And I want to just share this quote with you. It's by someone called Amy Poehler, and I should know, I think she's an actress. But she says this about ideas. As you navigate through the rest of your life, be open to collaboration. Other people and people's ideas are often better than your own. Find a group of people who challenge and inspire you, and spend time with them, and it will change your life. So Amy, thank you. You've just described 60andMe. I really believe this. I really believe that one of the reasons we exist is to share ideas, that we're all on this aging, living, experiencing journey in our 60s, and we've all got ideas about how to do it in a way that brings joy to us and happiness, and maybe think of ways a little outside the box. We've always been the creative bohemians of the world, so let's share our ideas. And so I love that quote. All right, so here we are, end of the show. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave your comments below. And obviously, I would be thrilled if you would go up to 60andme.com/mornings and sign up there to get the news first. And also, you're going to be with your friends this weekend, so tell them about Mornings with 60andMe. The more, the merrier. It's great to have you all here. All right, so my question for the day is this. What idea would you like to exchange with other women in our community? What idea or a topic would you like to discuss with all the women in our 60andMe community? Leave your comments below. It'd be great to start a conversation. So have a wonderful Saturday, everyone. Enjoy your day, and we'll be back here tomorrow on Mornings with 60andMe. Bye for now.